Number of categories this season in terms of the MAC, the assists per set, kills per set, aces per set, digs per set. That the one category that they don't really lead is in the blocking statistics. So we'll see if they can improve that number. At least tonight, the Akron Zips, you mentioned they run that fast offense. And right on cue, set outside is touched and picked up by Feudy. The tip over, we'll have another set outside. Again, that's Baker sending one deep, and she'll get the kill to start us off here.
Yeah, Baker has that, has a tendency of, you know, I'd say most of her swings are cross court. But you saw that one getting on the right side of Trabahaska, so we'll see if they adjust there.
Float serve from Twig, set right side. That's Luli Arcucci down the line, and that one is wide.
And just barely missed those hands. Looked like that's what she was going for.
Again, it'll be Sophie Twig back to serve, the 5'9" sophomore libero. Rather D-spec in this one. It'll be Forlin with the swing on the outside. That one is picked up by Chaussee, and Baker will spin cross court for the kill.
Yeah, that set was just a little bit inside. She kind of only had one shot at that. And you don't see Feudy missing many digs here. That was a tough swing. Great swing by Baker. Just controlled and in.
A deep float serve from Twig to Trebahovska. It's Luli Arcucci with a drive cross court. Chaussee the answer. Baker down the line. She'll get the kill.
Yeah, it looks like that block was just a little late. And the Zips are rolling here. Early 4-0 lead.
Yeah, you mentioned that tempo set to the outside. It looks to be causing a little problem for the Bulls, at least initially, here in set one. That float serve is going to sail long. The Bulls will catch a break here early. Chloe Brown will sub in and serve for the Bulls. 5'10" sophomore defensive specialist from Shaker Heights, Ohio. She'll come in and play defense in that one spot for the Bulls. The tip over on two. That's Eliška Vitskova, our player to watch for the Zips.
Yep, that was perfectly timed and a fantastic pass. She was just, she set it right up. She went up with two hands, dumped that, she hit that very well.
Del Rio with the float, the backslide. That is Abby Lee.
Not many connections like this in the MAC. Right, and that was also not many people are stopping that. That was a great in the gap, in the middle of, you know, it didn't get quite out to the pin, but it wasn't right behind her.
Baker with a swing down the line once again. She'll get the kill. She's able to put it off the outside hand of the blocker, Mandy Lee. She actually found the sideline.
Yeah, it looked like Mandy Lee was just a little late. It's right off her right hand. Very smart shot.
Vitskova, the setter for the Zips, steps back to serve. Akron still with that 4-point lead, 6-2. That is going to be an ace for Vitskova as the float serve causes problems for Chloe Brown.
Told you, it's a serve and pass game. Tough, tough serves by Vitskova.
Another float serve from Vitskova to Forlin this time. Mandy Lee sets outside. Trebahovska will spin it high and hard off the hands for the kill.
And even though that was a tough pass by Forlin, it was, you know, Mandy Lee can get to pretty much any ball. And she puts up a great ball for Trebahovska to go high hands on that.
Abby Lee with the float serve to Del Rio. Through the middle, that's going to be a kill for Cariana Jones.
It's so fast. It comes off of Vitskova's fingers so quickly. Like if the Bulls defense, their first line of defense, this block is not ready for it, hands are up, they are going to miss it.
Baker's float serve to Chloe Brown. She has problems with it once again. Be Forlin from the back row, touched on the block. And Carliana Jones able to disrupt that attack from the Bulls.
You gotta go corners on that. You can't just hit straight on. There's a pretty tall middle blocker right there. You gotta pick some sides here.
Jones with a 1.0 blocks per set. Mandy Lee will call her own number and get around that block.
It's funny when you get a pass, what happens?
Trebahopska put it right on the money.
That
Mandy
was
Lee.
Perfect 3-pass right there.
Be Mandy Lee with the float serve to Baker. Vitskova sets right side to Brissett, and she'll get the kill off the hands of the blocker out of bounds.
You know, Brissett had a great approach. She kind of went out to in, and then she swung with her thumb down, trying to go off the block. And the Bulls have to turn those hands in, get back in the court.
Jones with the float serve to Forlin, and that one, it looked like it was actually misplayed by Delaney Gash. On the overpass, she let it go, and it found the sideline.
You know, when you have an active setter like the Bulls do in Mandy Lee, you have to pay attention. If she is back row, she can't do anything in the front row. She can't jump and hit it over. So she kind of faked them out a little bit.
Vitskova sets right side. Brissett with the tip down the line. Few to the answer. It's Forlin with the tip. Vitskova the dig. Del Real handles the second. Touched on the block. Picked up on a cover. Sent over on the free with the Bulls. Forlin the first touch. It's Candish through the middle. Doug. Brissett from the right side. High off the hands, and Feudy will scoop in the 5. The touch to Arcucci. She'll just send one over with the forearms. Through the middle. That's Ellen Kennard.
You know, it's really fun to see the out-of-system balls, but when you get a free ball and you really push it into the setter, she can do whatever she wants with it. It's hard to defend.
Riley Chaussee, the float serve to Feudy. Forlin with an absolute rocket to the 6. She'll beat Baker.
Yeah, that had a lot of force behind it. That's nice to see that type of power and athleticism.
Bulls claw back to within 5 here. Akron the lead 11-6. It's Maria Feudy. Back to serve. The floats to Del Rio. Set on the slide. Nice run there by Ellen Kennard. She'll have herself her second kill of the first set.
Kennard runs that ball so quickly behind. Again, Forlin just can't get her feet under her hands, and that's a great shot by Kennard to just tool off the hands out of bounds on the other side.
Sophie Twig back to serve. The floats to Forlin. Mandy Lee pushes all the way outside to Forlin, who gets a swing from 10 feet. Twig the dig in the 6. Again, that's Kennard on the slide ball. It's Abby Lee through the middle for the Bulls. Doug. Baker from the outside, trying to find the near sideline cross court, unable to do so.
And honestly, these little, when a game is this even in hitters and the passers, and where everything's kind of pretty much a balance here, those little errors are going to add up. We'll see how the Bulls respond here.
Still trailing by 5, 12-7 the score. Del Real the pass off the serve from Brown. High off the hands by Baker. Mandy Lee the set over. She picked her spot.
2 for 2 with Mandy Lee. Again, with her being so active in the beginning of this match, anytime she jumps, that middle blocker on the Zips team is going to think, oh, wait, is she front row or is she back row? Just such an advantage for the Bulls.
Twig with the pass, set outside Baker cross court. Feudy the answer. Back row swing. Trebahopska will tip one short. Vitskova with the pickup. She went for an approach, but that one is set over. Forlin a drive on the tight ball, and she'll beat the blockers.
Wow, that was a great angle by Forlin. That was great timing. Not necessarily great timing on that first overpass swing that we're seeing here. But then she gets her feet under her. Wow, what?
Overpass, the joust is won by Vitskova as she'll press through Abby Lee to get the kill.
Let me just say that as a former setter, doing that to anyone, especially a middle blocker on the other team, it makes you feel like the strongest woman alive.
I agree 100%. Forlin will spin it off the hands for the kill. She jumped from about 8 feet there, but got a lot of speed on it off the blocker's hand.
Yeah, right off of, looks like Jones's left hand. She didn't press over enough and just used it to deflect, and that ball went down.
The margin's now 3. It's Forlin with the float serve to Twig. Vitskova sets the slide, scooped by Maria Feudy and sent over on the free. Baker from the outside. That set is tight, and the block pulls. That is Abby and Mandy Lee combining.
That's a pretty big block set up on the outside there. Great hustle, great dig by the Bulls. And then Vitskova just kind of traps her a little bit. And with the Lee sisters, it's not a lot going through that.
Back one ball to Jones, picked up. Abby Lee will punch one through. Baker gets a swing. Forlin the answer in the 6. The set was a bit low for Forlin, and she'll set one over short. Baker from the outside cuts it 4-4 for the kill.
Great shot by Baker. Again, that set, talking with Coach Smith from the Bulls earlier today, they were timing Vitskova's sets, and literally it is 0.7, under a second to the pin. They are that fast.
Set outside, Trebahovska spins it off the hands. That'll bring it to within 2, 14-12. Akron still with the lead, but it's narrowing.
Great swing, great high swing, using the hands in the block. Trebahovska does it again.
Abby Lee will float to Baker. Middle set, Jones. She'll get the kill in the 6-1 seam through the middle. And that'll draw us to a break as the Bulls trail by 3 here, 15-12. Akron on top. We'll step aside. You're watching Bulls Volleyball on ESPN+.
Amelia, turn off alarm.
Even the whole MAC is a really fun conference to watch right now.
Out of the stoppage, it'll be Baker with the float serve. Cange runs behind, and she'll get the kill. Looks like she put it off might have been the nose of Jones.
Yeah, definitely got her in the noggin there. Little rebound from the block.
She didn't look like she had closed all the way outside, and that made her a target.
Yes, it did.
Mandy Lee, the float serve to Baker. Vitskova sets outside, swung high off the hands by Gash, picked up. Trebahovska with a drive, and that one's going to wind up out of bounds. The way she reacted, she didn't quite know how she did that.
Nope. A little crazy on the coverage ball, too, by our Coochie there.
Jones with the float serve to Trebahovska. Mandy Lee has to handle the second with her forearms, and Cange will tip over. Jones the first. Set right side, Brissett. Cross-court swing from the right side to the corner for the kill.
Great approach by Brissett. Again, she's done this before, and I say it again, she really gets she gets way out. And has a big arm swing, big wind up.
Feudy with the pass, set right side. Trebahovska spins it off the outside hand of the blocker for the kill.
That had great speed. What a great tempoed ball to the right side. And Trebahovska's just doing Trebahovska things. You know, she can do it on both pins, back row. She's a force.
After the kill, it's Trebahovska on the serve. Del Rio the pass. Set outside to Gash, and she'll tip short out of the reach of a sprawling Mandy Lee for the kill.
Yeah, everybody's so wound up. And honestly, we haven't seen many tips from the Zips tonight. So they're really dug in, and it was just out of reach. Smart shot.
The Riley Chaussee stepping back to serve for the Zips. They have extended their lead back to 4, 18-14 here, mid-set number 1. Set will go outside, ripped cross court by Forlin, and we'll have a net violation called. It will result in a point for the Bulls.
I love setting this ball. You had you had Kanj go up on a quick ball 31, and just the set went right over top for Forlan to smash it. That was a great set by Mandy Lee.
The overpass is handled by Forlan, who will direct it to the floor. We talked about the serve and pass game, and that's just something you can't do, hand Forlan free points.
Nope.
Maria Feudy will be the server for the Bulls. The deep floats to Gash. Vitskova sets outside to Gash, who gets a swing from about 9 feet high off the hands. They'll recycle. The tip over by Kennard will cause problems for the Bulls.
I mean, if you're any coach right now, you're like, if somebody's tipping on you, that's a gift. You want to, that's usually an easier ball to get up. You don't want somebody just, you know, hitting their hardest shot at you. The Bulls really have to pick those balls up.
Twig with the float serve to Forlan. Mandy Lee sets right side. Narcucci with a drive. Twig to dig in the 6. Del Rio will handle the second. That's swung cross court by Baker and Doug. Forlan into the block and out of bounds for the kill.
Mandy Lee spreading this offense out, really getting, right now Kennard is the middle blocker. She's having to go from pin to pin to pin. Mandy Lee just yo-yoing these balls back and forth. Great choices by the senior setter for the Bulls.
And you see both teams hitting relatively efficiency so far in this match, but Akron has been on top of the statistical category, but Mandy Lee doesn't care as she'll put direct Baker's swing to the floor.
That was a fantastic adjustment. That's a fastball to the outside, but just a little too tight. And Mandy says no.
That's going to draw a timeout as the Akron Zips will talk things through. The Bulls have narrowed this lead to just 1 as Akron got off to a commanding lead in this one, but right now it's anybody's ball game.
It's the beauty of volleyball. It's a game of momentum. You're going back and forth, back and forth. You can string a couple points here and there, then fantastic. It's really a massive game of momentum. And right now, with the feel in the gym, it's really heading towards the Bulls. You don't feel like they're just down 1. You feel like they're actually leading, but they did, you know, have a tough start there.
Yeah, the serve receive wasn't on at the beginning of this one. They were having some problems with some relatively routine serves, just weren't able to put it on the number. Whereas Akron seemed like they were passing pretty well at the start, and I don't think it really has anything to do with Akron slowing down.
Whenever she wants to set it.
After the timeout, it'll be Chloe Brown stepping back to serve for the Bulls. Vitskova sets back 1. That's Kennard able to find the 5-6 seam for the kill.
You know, between Forlan and Lee, that's a tough blocking matchup for the Zips, and she went right in between them.
Del Rio with the float serve to Trebahovska. It's tipped by Forlan into the block. Middle set, heavy lead. That was quick.
That was quick. That was smart. Again, when you have a setter that is as aggressive as Mandy Lee is, you're going to jump with her. And if it's tight, yeah, both blockers jumped with Mandy, leaving her sister wide slam open.
Unfortunately, Forlan will follow that up with a missed serve. They'll hand the ball back to Akron, who now leads again by 2, 21-19.
Again, a game of momentum. I mean, like deflating the balloon just a little bit for the Bulls.
Alishka Vitskova will step back to serve for Akron. Float serves to Forlan, and that's an ace serve for Vitskova.
Yep, didn't get that right hip around. Forlan just kind of hit. It looked like it just hit one arm, just went right into the stands.
And that's going to draw a timeout from the Bulls. That is the second ace on the day. Make it the first ace on the day for Vitskova as they once again extend their lead 22-19. have to imagine Coach Smith is just kind of trying to get them to refocus on what's important here. First ball contact, put it right on the money.
Yeah, and we don't need it really on the money. Again, you have a setter who can do a lot with the ball. She just needs it. Give it to her at 10 feet. She can fling that ball behind her, in front of her, like whatever she wants to do. It just needs to be controlled and not 30 feet out of bounds.
From the Zips side, again, both these teams have been hitting very efficiently in this first set. The Zips are at a .406 hitting percentage, the Bulls at .400. It's only 2 blocks to 1 in favor of the Bulls. And it's been about as close as it can be in terms of a statistical game so far, but I think really the edge has been Akron on the serve. So we'll see if the Bulls can come out here and just kind of ease some of those nerves that they have entering the 20, that last 5-point margin. Akron's at 22 right now. Vitskova back to serve. And she'll miss the serve. That's one of the cardinal sins of serving.
Oh yeah, there's 3. It's after a timeout. You have after one of your teammates just misses a serve, and then you have game point. You don't miss your serves.
We'll chalk that one up to Coach Smith as the float serve from Lee is handled and sent deep by Brissett. She got the swing on the outside. And now the Bulls back to within 1, 22-21. Looks like the Zips, I think there might have been a touch, but they're not going to get it, and they're not going to challenge it either. That one will trickle over the tape, sent over on the free, and Kange will send it deep to Twig. Touched by Vitskova, punched up by Trebahovska. Back row swing for Forlan. Del Real had to handle the second. Baker sends one deep. That one is long.
Oh man, we are so back and forth right now. It looks like the Zips are looking for a touch.
Yeah, they're going to have a challenge here as Coach Tyson Norton will challenge whether or not there was a touch. The attacker on the near side turned around immediately and said,
Not really sure if they were thinking maybe even on the back row, what the touch was.
yeah, unclear to me there.
You know, a break like this, you know, this is a couple minutes of a break that we're having here. It almost kind of resets. Like the momentum was going to the Bulls. And we'll also see, you know, it's close. It might have hit the block. I guess we'll see in a little bit. See what the referees are seeing. They can slow it down a little bit better than we can up here. He's playing with his little mouse there.
Yeah, you know, they do have that super slow-mo, but to me, that looked as if it was nowhere close to the block.
Yeah.
But he's obviously taking a look at it, making sure.
We got a lot of nice little camera angles going on here in this gym. Well, he'll have a good view.
Yeah, well, this means the difference between the Bulls being tied 22-22 or Akron taking a 2-point lead here late in set number 3. So it is a crucial point in this first set. Again, Akron took 1 set from the Bulls the last time that they played, and this would be a great way to start for the Zips if they're able to take the first set in this one. But the Bulls, they got off to a slow start. They battled back, and now late here, they've kept it close. The sets in the first matchup between these teams were close as well. And so this really isn't a shocker. Both these teams kept it close throughout. The Bulls were ultimately able to pull it out in.
Looks like referees maybe made a decision here, and it's got to be irrefutable evidence that there was a touch. So
they will confirm the call, and so it will be a tie game, 22-22.
Little mini game to 3 here.
Abby Lee will be the server for the Bulls after the challenge stoppage. The float serves to Del Rio. Vitskova goes middle to Jones, touched by Kange. They'll reset. This time Jones will get the kill.
You know, that's a great choice by Vitskova going back to Jones. You know, it looks like it got Kanj off the noggin there. She actually didn't see that second ball.
Yeah, that was a good run there by Jones, able to collect herself and go up for a second opportunity shortly after the first, as Chloe Brown will let that one fall just inside the near sideline to give Akron their first set point here in set number 1, 24-22. That'll draw a timeout from Coach Smith.
That's a fantastic serve, just right on the line there. Chloe Brown, she was at the line. She just, I guess she just thought she was a little more out. But
yeah, that's as close as they come. Sometimes you make a call and you're just wrong. You know, and it's unfortunate she was there. I mean, that's what you ask the player. Make sure you get to the line. Make sure you know where you are.
Beat the ball to the line instead of just wishing it's out.
Yeah. Well, Akron will have, again, a set point, 24-22 in this one, as both teams have now dropped sub 400, but they're still hitting in the 300s, which is an impressive feat in and of itself. The Akron.
But yeah, it's still anybody's ball game.
Lauren Baker will be the server for the set here in set number 1. Baker's float serve to Trebahovska. It's Mandy Lee setting outside, high off the hands. Baker the scoop in the 6, and Jones is unable to draw it out of the net.
Yeah, Baker was trying to really force that ball to the net, but nobody was home, not even Jones.
Still set point for Akron. Mandy Lee with the float serve to Del Rio. Vitskova goes middle, and Jones will close it out in set number 1 as she cut it wrist away to the near sideline. Akron will take set number 1, 25-23. We'll step aside here during the intermission. You're watching Buffalo Bulls volleyball on ESPN+.
Amelia, turn. We're a little shaky. We might even see a little bit of a lineup change. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it looks to me like Taya Shaw will see her first action in this one. She'll start in the back row, and so it'll be Maria Feudy back to serve as she replaces Shaw.
Maybe trying to get a little more action out of the middle, but I mean, hey, if you can't pass, you're not running the middle anyway.
Feudy will get us started here in set 2. It's Trigg with the pass. The set over by Vitskova. Mandy Lee able to get underneath it. Arcucci with a drive cross court. That one is dug. Swung on cross court. Forlin gets underneath it. Abby Lee with the tip. Baker from the outside, high off the hands, and the zips now will get a kill as their setter Vitskova calls her own number.
Haven't seen that all game yet. That's kind of nice to have a setter who can turn and swing like that. Vitskova has been a threat. She's dumped it a couple times. She's set it over a couple times. Now we see her swinging.
Yeah, it's one thing to have the setter jump with your left hand. It's another thing to be a lefty setter that can turn and rip a ball.
Yeah.
Forlin there tried to tip a tight ball, unable to do so. She'll get called on the double contact. So Akron again up to an early lead in this set, just like they were in the first set. Now 2-0. Mandy Lee sets back. Arcucci with a swing, and that one is long.
I mean, it was a great save. It was a really tight pass. Mandy Lee getting it, you know, above the tape, setting it behind. I thought it was a good choice by the setter, just unsuccessful in the attack.
Del Rio's float serve cross court is going to sail wide. The Bulls will catch a break as they'll side out. It'll be Chloe Brown returning to serve for the Bulls as she replaces Luli Arcucci in the back row. Mandy Lee, a front row option for the Bulls, as is Vitskova right now for Akron. It's Baker into the block, as again, it's 4 Lee hands across the net.
Yeah, pass wasn't great. Brissette was off, so she couldn't zing it like she's been doing. So a little more time for the Bulls blockers, who are two very good blockers, to get in position.
Baker will tip, and she'll find the floor.
You know, Chloe Brown being in the right back, she's got to get that ball. That was she couldn't have hit that ball. So Baker couldn't have hit that ball, so she should have known to come in and be ready for maybe a tip or a roll shot.
Forlan are going to swing from the outside, and that is Carliana Jones.
That was almost up on her foot, it looked like, too. Maybe they stopped playing a little too soon.
She was able to get her full 6'3" frame in front of that one, the senior middle blocker from White Plains, New York. Vitskova's float serve to Trebahovska. Mandy Lee had to chase after it. Back row swing for Trebahovska is dug by Trigg. Brissette will roll one over to Chloe Brown. Mandy Lee attacks with 2.
Smart shot by Lee. Oh, it was a tight ball, but I mean, she's front row. She can do what she wants with it. We've seen her dump behind. We've seen her dump in front. And now we have like a blocking dump right in zone 2. It's really moving the ball around.
Tipped into the antenna by Brissette, and that'll give Bulls their 4th point of this set, number 2.
It's tough. Brissette's used to be on the right side, so her timing looked a little off for that fast ball to the outside. Didn't look like she got it in time.
Forlan with a float serve to Trigg. It's set outside again to Brissette, into the block. Scooped up on a cover. Baker from the right side, high off the hand. Mandy Lee goes middle, and Abby Lee will tip short to the 4 spot for the kill.
Smart shot. You know, Brissette was all the way pinched in because there's no, you know, if Lee doesn't go behind and stays in front, you know, who is Brissette blocking? So she's pinched all the way in, leaves a huge hole in zone 4. Smart shot by Abby Lee.
Vitskova goes right side, swung on by Baker, dug by Chloe Brown. It's Trebahovska down the line, and that one is wide off the far sideline.
Not gonna lie, she only had maybe a half a block in the middle. I would have gone back to her sister. But still, great tempo to the outside, just unfortunate miss hit by Trebahovska.
Akron back on top by 1, 6-5. It's Baker back to serve. That will trickle over the tape to Trebahovska. High ball behind to Abby Lee. Gash will spin one high off the hands for the kill.
Smart shot by Delaney Gash. Just high hands, going out of bounds. Bulls defense a little shallow there.
Baker, another float serve to Trebahovska. Back row set to Forlan, who tips one short, and Brissette just kind of spun like a top.
Yeah, that's, you hate to see it. Just getting a little turned around a little bit.
And the unfortunate part is it looked to me like there was a defender behind ready to scoop it up.
Oh, yeah. Miscommunication, maybe.
Chloe Brown with the pass. It's Shaw through the middle. And that's going to fall.
All right. The Bulls have Shaw 1 for 1. We'll see how she keeps going. It looks like that was the substitution made, the change that the Bulls made as far as roster or lineup, excuse me.
Gash with the pass, she'll tip over. It's Trebahovska with the scoop. She'll get the set on the outside, tipped right at the center of the block as Brissette will get it.
Yeah, when you're in a gym like Akron's, when you know your setters are going so quickly, you get used to that speed. And I think these middle blockers, the Akron middles are fantastic. Well, a kill's a kill. You don't see that often.
I don't know if you saw it. I sort of rolled my eyes. That was a miss hit on the overpass to Gash, who somehow found some space deep over the hands of Forlan. That's not easy to do. She's 6'2".
Right. And jumped. A 6'2", and she was jumping.
Jones's float serve is into the net, and so it won't cause too many problems for the Bulls as they are back within one, 9-8. Akron still on top. Andy Lee, the float serve down the line. It's Gash the pass. She had some trouble with it. Del Real actually put it in a nice spot for her. She'll get a swing. Trebahovska drive, and that one is touched on the block.
A lot of power behind that ball. Beautiful, fast set to the pen. That tempo, she only had one blocker. Didn't look like Kennard really got anywhere.
Mandy Lee will miss the float serve and once again put Akron on top, 10-9 here, mid-set 2. You're just joining us, Akron taking the first set in this one. In a close contest. And it's more of the same here in set number 2. Forlin the pass. Set'll go outside to Trebahovska, tips into the block. She'll cover her own swing. She'll get another opportunity, but that one is picked up by the Zips. Tipped by Vitskova. She just kind of pressed it through Trebahovska for the kill.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, a setter that can also hit is one of my favorite things to watch. She had a great approach, telling Del Real, like, hey, set me up. I can hit too.
Shaw had to handle the pass, and Trebahovska will finish the swing to the near sideline for the kill.
I want to say that Trebahovska has done more damage out of system than in system. She's had a few close balls that have just been just out of bounds or just, long. But she has done really well with the ball coming from 20 feet.
Mandy Lee goes middle to Shaw. That one is scooped by Baker in the 6. Gash touches the block with it. Sent over on the free. Swung on by Vitskova into the block. Picked up on a cover. It's Gash from the outside. And that one is long.
It looked like she was going for hands, but she was really, really under that ball.
Looks like we've got another change for the Bulls as Reese Collins has taken over on the right side. Gash will swing one deep from the outside, and she'll get the kill as Feudy was unable to handle.
It actually looked like a really good block setup with Shaw and Collins there. But that's a strong swing. Strong swing by Gash.
Gash, the freshman outside, has been forced into some sets as of late. She's been doing an impressive job. The net violation called on Mandy Lee as she tried to collect that one before it went over the net.
Just a little too tight.
That'll extend the Zips lead to 2, 13-11. Feudy will put that one tight for Mandy Lee, and Forlin will have to send one deep. Trigg the first, pushed outside. Baker cross-court swing dug by Feudy. Trebahovska from the back row, and she'll get the kill as Riley Chaussee was unable to answer in the 1.
Wow, that was some power from back row. Great swing, and a really tough ball to dig.
Be Maria Feudy to serve for the Bulls. That float is into the net. And that'll once again put the Zips back on top by 2, 14-12.
In your home gym, I've said it already, you don't want to do that. You want to be the dominant ones. This is your gym, defending your house. Passing and serving is on you.
Bit of a miss hit there by Reese Collins. And that'll draw us to the media timeout. We'll step aside. You're watching Bulls Volleyball on ESPN+. A float from Del Real. Trebahovska, Mandy Lee will push it out to Forlin down the line. Dug by Chaussee. Baker will roll one deep. Feudy able to get underneath it. And Abby Lee will cut it back to the far sideline for the kill.
when the Bulls are in system and can set their middles, there's not a lot of people stopping them. And the Zips have definitely had a hard time with the middle hitters on this Buffalo team.
Chloe Brown will sub in and serve. Trigg the pass. Vitskova goes outside. Baker with a drive. Forlin unable to get to it off the forearms of Trebahovska. That'll send Vitskova back to the service strike as Brissett will return to swing right side for the Zips. Vitskova's float serve to Brown. She had some trouble with it, and that'll result in a free ball for the Zips. A tempo set outside, and Baker with a drive that gives her 8 on the day.
That's that under 1 second set I was talking about earlier. I mean, that thing is so fast. Huge hole in the Bulls block. What a smart and efficient ball hit.
Vitskova with a float serve to Brown, who once again had some trouble with it, and Trebahovska tried to knuckle it over. She'll put it into the bottom tape. And that's going to result in a timeout by the Bulls as they continue to look for an answer in this one. The Zips have been on top from the midway point in this one.
Yeah, the Bulls have to take advantage of this. The Zips are serving and passing, I think, exceptionally well right now. They came fully prepared in this gym. The Akron gym is a lot smaller. I don't know if you've ever been to the Zips gym. It's a lot smaller. The Bulls gym is huge, and you would think that a visiting team with a smaller gym would have a little more issues with it, but the Zips came in hot.
To drive Akron out of system. You mentioned the tempo sets to the outside. When Akron is able to stay in system as long as they have, they're able to force that ball outside, and Baker's just running away with it. She's got 8 kills on 24 attempts so far today. They've been able to run their offense.
Vitskova's run a fantastic offense so far in the past 2 sets.
Forlin will spin one off the hands of Brissett for the kill to get the side out for the Bulls.
That was fantastic tempo to that pin. Forlin just using Brissett on the right side there, using her hands and going outside.
After the kill, it's Forlin with the serve. Trigg the pass. Set outside. Brissett tips down the line. Chloe Brown able to get it with the hands. Spun into the block. That is Baker. Looked like Jones had closed as well.
Wow. That was a solid block. Fully formed right in front of Trebahovska's face.
You see there, Akron on top in set number 2, 4 blocks to 1. They lead in the match 5 blocks to 3. That has been part of it here. They have been impressive at the net in set 2. The float serve is to Feudy, and Abby Lee with a drive, able to beat Baker in the 6.
Again, if I'm Mandy Lee, I'm saying, hey, passers, just get me to 8 to 10 feet. I don't need a perfect pass, especially when they're in a rut. I can still set from pin to pin.
Brissett from the right side. That's dug by Emma Converse in the 6. Tipped over by Trebahovska. Brissett into the block. Trebahovska with the answer.
That was a statement, and you can hear this Buffalo gym really getting into it. What a great drop by Trebahovska, just dropping her hands low and in the seam, taking away that shot from Brissett.
That pass is tight, and Vitskova unable to get there, tried to punch it over. It'll result in the ball going into the antenna, and that will draw the first timeout from Akron here in set number 2, as Coach Norton will talk things through.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Norton, I'm saying, you know, hey, just stay with it. Stay to what we are good at doing. This past 2 sets, we've been good at serving and passing. Just keep it going. Kind of shake it off, get back to a, you know, get back to step one. Do what you do. Do what you know you have to do, and do it well. Do your jobs. And if I'm Scott Smith, I am going for the motivational speeches, man. Just keep it going. Keep it now. 17-19, Buffalo clawing back.
I'll tell you what, there's something about this matchup. Akron in set number one, able to ultimately come out on top. But again, it was a closely contested battle. We look at the original matchup between these two teams. Buffalo took the first set 25-23. Akron was able to come back strong in set number two to take that one 25-23. Then it was 25-22, and Buffalo kind of pulled away in set number four to make it 25-18. But I mean, there's a 2-point margin right now. I think the Bulls are keeping it close. The Zips just want to make sure that they're on top of their game right now. And that's not the way they wanted to come out of the timeout with an overpass from Gash.
Nope, and again, that coaching staff's really getting those Bulls fired up.
It'll be Abby Lee again, the float serve to Gash. Another overpass. Shaw handles the overpass with a back row blocker called on Vitskova.
And just like that, we got a tie here.
19-19. Still back row hands. Again, Vitskova back there. Mandy Lee is front row for the Bulls. Set outside. Gash will spin one off the hands. Mandy Lee goes middle, and Shaw, and that is blocked, as there were two blockers in the way. I believe Jones got it, but Gash was there for the assist as well.
Hey, and again, Gash pinching forward because Mandy Lee doesn't have anybody in the back row. She's only setting forward. She's not doing anything herself. She was a little off the net. A smart blocking setup by Gash.
Trebahovska gets a swing from 10 feet, picked up by Baker in the 6, tipped to the floor by Gash. Again, that tempo set to the outside, and unable to answer was Chloe Brown in the 1.
Yeah, it looked like there was just a hole in the block, or actually it went on the outside. Gash just getting it done.
Akron back up to 21-19. Mandy Lee will push outside. Trebahovska tips. Vitskova able to get underneath it, and Gash will swing cross court. Feudy got handcuffed, and the Bulls will send over the free ball. Jones the first. Vitskova goes right side. Brissett swung on cross court, and that's a kill as it finds the near sideline.
You don't see that often with a middle blocker getting the free ball. Jones there making that pass, making a money pass on a free ball. You know, you're not really seeing that often.
Yeah, well, again, Akron back on top 22-19 in this one, as Bulls had clawed back. They had tied it up at 19 apiece, I believe, but Akron able to get on a bit of a run here, and now it is the Bulls that are trying to find an answer. This is reminiscent of the first set. Akron, I believe Akron was on top 22-19. Buffalo called a timeout late. They were able to come back now. The Bulls just need to find an answer. I think it starts with that pass. You keep mentioning the fact that Mandy Lee just needs that ball. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be close.
Yep, she is so good. When you have a veteran setter like that, and sometimes the passers, the mindset is almost like, well, don't get ace, don't get ace, don't get ace. And it's like, no, as a parent, you don't tell your kids what not to do. You tell them what to do. It's like, all right, well, as a setter, you're telling your passers, it's not don't get ace. It's, hey, give me a ball in the middle of the court. I can get it done. That's all Mandy Lee needs to say.
Jones with the float serve to Emma Converse. Trebahovska had to handle the second. Converse will roll one too deep, as that one will sail long.
And looks like Converse is a little nervous coming into this game.
Yeah, she's the adjustment on the serve receive, trying to find an answer so far for the Bulls. Trebahovska will tip one to Jones. Brissett from the right side, spun cross court, and that one is wide off the near sideline.
Yeah, it's a tough tip right in the middle of the court. Now, I get it. You know, when you have a middle serving, like Jones was back there serving, you want to kind of make the middles in the back row move a little bit. Tip was a little high. I'm not sure it was the smartest choice. Kept it in play.
Float serve down the line to Gash. She'll swing cross court. Trebahovska the dig. She'll get the set on the outside, high off the hand. She used the block.
Man, she's been using Brissett all night.
It gives Trebahovska 8 kills on the day on 20 total attempts. See here, she gets the dig, she'll get the set, and she'll spin it off the outside hand of Brissett. That'll result in a timeout. One, just trying to make sure they have the pieces in place to finish this one out.
Yeah, you see Trebahovska is just under 200 with her hitting percentage right now. And there was a lot of just miss hits early. She's still kind of finding her groove. Actually, I think a lot of these Buffalo players are still trying to find their groove. It's been really hot and cold with the passes of in system, out of system, in system, out of system. And it's like, okay, let's calm it down. Let's just do what we do well, and that is pass to a veteran to the last set.
Yeah, certainly a lower efficiency. Both knotted up at a 118 hitting percentage. The attack errors, Buffalo has 8 to Akron 6. So again, they lead in kills by 2, but they also lead in errors by 2. There's a counter for everything you can mention in terms of statistics right now between these two teams. It'll be Mandy Lee coming out with the serve after the timeout. Vitskova goes middle, Kennard with a drive. Mandy Lee the answer. Trebahovska, cross-court swing. Brings some life into the Bulls roster.
Again, I think Trebahovska's had more success being out of system. That ball was from Maria Feudy. Just a nice, high, easy looping ball to the outside, and she just smoked that.
That float serve to Baker causes some problems as Gash is unable to fish it out of the bleachers, and that'll knot it up at 23 apiece.
It's like deja vu. We were here just one set ago.
The Mandy Lee back to serve once again. Vitskova's still in the back row for the Zips. The pass from Gash is a bit tight. Touched by Kennard. Reese Collins handles the first. And that's going to result in a point for Akron, as it looked like there was a bit of a miscommunication there by the Bulls.
Yeah, it also looked a little, it was a little too much traffic, and I'm not sure Mandy Lee could have even gotten there if she tried. There was just too many bodies in the way. Tough ball to get past right on that side of the court. Oh boy.
Well, we talk about the Cardinal sins of serving, and you mentioned there's 3. That would be the other one.
Yep.
Missing one on set point. We're going to have extra frames here in set 2, as that one will knot it up at 24 apiece. Trebahovska with the float serve. The Chaussee ripped by Gash, and she'll get the kill as Feudy was there, just unable to handle the heat.
That's great tempo by Vitskova. I mean, the Shaw was super late, and there was a massive hole, and that's what that tempo set is for. Those balls are made to have massive holes in the block for your hitters to hit right through.
Mandy Lee outside set for Forlan, dug by Twig. We'll have a net violation called. Looks like it's called on Vitskova.
When they turn around and be like, yeah, that was me. You know, you hate to see that as a teammate. Like, oh, no, she didn't touch it. Oh, no, I did. You know, yeah, that's my bad. Especially tying it up. It's 25s.
Feudy with the float serve to Twig. It's Vitskova setting back to Kennard, and that one is long.
That was close.
Looks like the Zips might be challenging this one. If for nothing else, I think the challenge here slows down the momentum that Buffalo gets after an errant swing there.
Yeah, that was, the line judge was even a little hesitant to, what was that, in or out, in or out?
Yeah, I think line judge just kind of collected her thoughts on that one. Impossible to tell from that angle there, but the Bulls are either up one here late for their first set point on the day, 26-25, or the opposite. Akron will go up for another set point here in set two.
Yeah, if that ball indeed was long, that would be Kennard's first error on the night. Kennard's had a great hitting night so far, especially from behind.
The other thing that happens when you have an attack like that, especially when you're looking at the slow motion replays that the officials have at their disposal, is there's compression of the ball, and so you really can't tell unless you have that super high speed camera, you know, whether or not the ball actually was on the sideline for that split second. You know, the ball compresses when it hits, and then it rockets off. To the naked eye, it's impossible.
Right. And I really enjoyed when the Olympics, it was kind of like, you know what, we're not challenging ins and outs. It was almost like tennis, you know, they had those super high speed cameras to watch.
Yeah, the in and out cams, the in and out challenges are usually the quicker types of challenges because they have cameras that are on the lines. We have had a couple times this season where a player might have gotten in the way of one of those sideline cameras, but when it comes to the end line, there's very rarely a player that's standing right on the line to block that shot.
Yeah, that's for this to be going as long as it is. I'm thinking it was a lot closer than we realize. The entire Bulls staff and team just said out right away. But, you know, you're kind of conditioned as a player, even if it's close, you want to have that little bit of home court advantage of, yeah, no touch, it was out. And maybe he's also seeing if there was a touch on the block. You know, it looks like he's got an answer here.
So this call is going to be reversed as we will have a ball in on the end line. And that will give a set point to Akron. Again, that was a momentum swing for the Bulls. If it was out as a momentum swing for the Bulls, and again, the challenge would have served a purpose in slowing things down, but now it's definitely served a purpose, and then it gives Akron the ability to close it out here. 26-25, late set two. Vanessa Del Real be the server. Floats to Trebahovska. Abby Lee had to handle the seconds. Forlin with a drive to the line, and Chaussee unable to handle it with her hands.
Yeah, especially at a system ball. Forlin did a great job. Just, hey, put it in play, put it in a tough spot. You know, putting it down the line is a tougher ball to set, and it was also a tougher ball to handle.
Chloe Brown will return and serve for the Bulls. Float serve to Baker is going to sail wide as she got to that sideline and let it go.
The Bulls are kind of shooting themselves in the foot here with these little errors that are kind of adding up here.
Vitskova will step back to serve for the Zips. Once again, a set point, 27-26. Manny Lee goes middle to Abby. Picked up by Vitskova. Del Real tries to send it outside, and that one is over the net out of bounds.
Yeah, when Mandy and Abby Lee connect, and it causes the other team's problems. Like Vitskova had to take that first ball, and then you have a non-setter setting that ball to the outside, and it just, wow.
Forlin will have that serve turn over for her, and she'll have the ace.
That ball dropped. Oh my gosh! It looked like it was on a ledge of a table and just dropped straight down. Del Real had no chance of getting that ball.
Forlin with a float. Trigg had trouble, and that's going to close it out in set number 2. The Bulls come from behind to take it and knot this one up at 1 set apiece, 29-27. What a set for the Bulls. We'll step aside here during the intermission. You're watching Bulls Volleyball on ESPN+. Here in set 3, the float serve from Trigg will get us started. It's Forlin with a tip. Chaussee able to get underneath it. Baker will spin one deep. Trebahovska the answer. Abby Lee through the middle. Chaussee another dig. Baker from 10 feet. Will roll one deep. It's Feudy the pickup. Lee will set one over on 2 and find the floor.
I thought Chaussee was actually going to get that third in a row. She was right there. Smart shot by Lee.
Yeah,
beautiful position.
She was certainly underneath it. There were 3 zips converging. I'd like to see her go with 2 there, possibly get it up in the air. Chloe Brown with the float serve to Trigg. Set outside, and that is driven by Baker down the line.
I mean, and that was, you know, I would say 80% of the sets from the zips have been a little bit inside. They've been fast, but they've been a little bit on the inside, creating that almost, you know, that blocking hole there. But that was all the way to the pin. Great ball down the line.
Mandy Lee sets outside to Forlin, and that one is spun deep, out of bounds. Point zips.
Looked like she was hoping for a touch. And that's the, honestly, I think that's the matchup the Bulls want. You've got Forlin over top of Vitskova. Forlin's got, I don't know, 5 inches on her.
Forlin with the pass. Mandy Lee unable to get underneath it, and that's an ace for Del Rio.
Picking on the what we call the passer hitter. So the hitter that's also, you know, backed up to help in serve receive. Moving her around a little bit.
Again, Forlin unable to put that one on the money. She'll roll one from 10 feet off. It's Baker with a tip. Feudy gets underneath it, sent over on the free. Zip set things up. Jones with the slide. That's Trebahovska the dig, and Forlin with tip one. Chaussee the answer. And set over. Vitskova finds the middle of the defense.
Yeah, the Bulls are just kind of, you know, hoping that the zips make the error instead of really trying to convert something. They're free balling it. They're tipping it. It's, well, I guess hope is a strategy sometimes, because that was a point.
Yeah, Del Rio will miss a serve. Hand the ball back to Buffalo.
I'd say that this is one of the Bulls' best matchups. You got both Lees, Trebahovska on the front row, and just in case, you got Forlin in the back.
Forlin's float serve to Trigg. Vitskova sets outside, and Baker tried to find the deep corner. She had some space. She's not going to find it. We're looking for a touch. They're not going to get it.
No, it looked almost like she served it. It looked pretty flat coming off of her hand.
Manuela Forlin, the float serve to Baker. She'll once again get the set on the outside. Feudy the dig in the 5. Trebahovska down the line. And that one was a hard-driven ball that Chaussee was unable to respond to.
Yeah, Twig's quick. She almost got that ball. But what a great, again, I love this lineup for the Bulls, because you've got, you know, Abby Lee, who can go behind or stay in front and be successful at both of those. And then you've got Trebahovska on the outside here.
Like they were playing tennis there for a minute. Some net play. Trebahovska with a drive, dug by Twigg in the 6. Baker cross-court swing. Trebahovska again the dig. She'll roll one off the tape. Chaussee gets underneath it. Baker on the tempo set, and she'll get the kill in front of Forlin.
Yeah, it looked like Brown was thinking it was going to be a shorter tip, and she started charging, and of course, wasn't the case. Baker tipping it a little deeper in the middle of the court.
Kate Terzinski will sub in to replace one of the Bulls. I thought it was Forlin. It wasn't. The float serve from Vitskova is to Forlin. tipped over by Abby Lee. Baker with a drive, somehow collected by Mandy Lee and sent over. Jones through the middle. Trzynski gets the dig, and that is Mandy Lee pushing through for the kill.
A lot of things going on. Great dig, great block, just again, back and forth. These are two gritty teams.
Abby Lee with the float serve to Twig. Set outside, it's Brissett high off the hands. Trzynski the dig in the 5. Cross court, soft spot. That is a nice swing there by Trebahovska.
Very smart. Again, Brissett is an opposite. She's not used to playing that defense cross court as an outside. And Trebahovska really capitalizing on that.
That was a swing as Brissett had come in. Mandy Lee with a drive. That's dug and sent over on the free. Lee will go outside to Trebahovska into the block. She'll cover herself. Get another opportunity, and that time it's long.
That was a little early celebration. Mandy Lee smoked that ball, but Zips were there. Great up. And just the resilience on both sides here, keeping the ball alive.
Baker's float serve is going to sail long. Now get the ball back to the Bulls. Their first early lead in a set, 7-6. Mandy Lee will be the server. It's a deep float serve to Baker. Del Real send it outside to Gash. Swung on cross court. That one is wide off the near sideline.
I don't think the block was even very close to that. It didn't look like a very good setup by the Bulls. Now, didn't have to be, but we got a couple new people on the court here.
Brissett with a nice swing on the right side. She'll spin it off the outside hand to Trebahovska for the kill. That'll send Jones back to the service strike for Akron. Buffalo still on top by 1, 8-7. Floats to Trebahovska. Mandy Lee sets right side, and Trebahovska puts it off the outside hand of the blocker Gash for the kill.
Smart shot, again, just using that outer hand. And it wasn't exactly, you know, Mandy Lee was 12 feet off the net. That was a great choice, great set.
Trebahovska, the top spin to Del Real. Vitskova sets outside, Gash the short tip. Mandy Lee had to handle the first. It's Forlin. Baker will put it into the net, sent over on the free. Race Collins with the pass. Forlin from the outside, tips short, and Gash the dig. Brissett spins it high off the hands again. Collins gets the first. Forlin with a drive, and that one is long.
Third time was not the charm there. Very impressive defense by the Zips, though. They are, Del Real is everywhere.
It brings it back to within once again, Buffalo with the 9-8 lead. Chaussee will be the server. The floats to Forlin. Feudy sends it outside with her forearms. That one is punched by Del Real. Looked to me like Baker might have been able to get underneath that one.
Yeah, it looked like she was definitely going to be there. Just miscommunication by Baker and Del Real there.
That extends the Bulls lead to 2, 10-8. Floats to Gash. Vitskova sets back one. That is Doug. Forlin with the tip. Chaussee. The dig. Vitskova into the block of Abby Lee, who presses it to the floor.
And that is the first error by the Zip setter that we've seen all night. She's hit, she's dumped, she's blocked. That's the first time that she's been stopped.
That extends the Bulls lead to 3, 11-8. And Feudy the float serve to Gash. Vitskova set outside, Gash high off the hands. And she'll get the kill as that spun Reese Collins around.
That's so tough, you know, as a teammate, you're just saying up, up, and you know, Collins turns around, but she's not looking up. She's looking at her teammates. Tough ball. Great touch, tough ball to react to.
Twig will be the server for the Zips as the float serves to Forlin. Middle set, Abby Lee. Chaussee gets underneath it. Vitskova handles the second with her forearm. And Baker all the way across the floor, able to get the swing.
That was a great choice. Vitskova stayed calm. She didn't panic to try to get it all the way to the pin. It was just a nice, hittable back bump set.
Mandy Lee will push this ball outside to Forlin. It died a little bit inside, but either way, she gets the kill as she sent it cross court to the corner.
I think that's Forlin's bread and butter. An inside high ball that she can really hit cross court. That was, Mandy Lee took all of her body and pushed that ball out there.
Kate Terzinski will return. The 5'9" freshman with the float serve. Baker swings cross court, and that one's wide.
Feudy's in a great spot defensively, just kind of waiting. She knows exactly where Baker hits, just waiting for it. Knows that if it's above her hips, it's going to be out.
Terzinski's float serve to Baker. Kennard with a hard-driven ball down the line off 1 foot.
I really like seeing Kennard going behind. I think she's a fantastic one-footed approach middle hitter for this Zips team. She's got a lot of power. They haven't had as good of passing to really set her enough.
Terzinski had to handle the seconds. Forlin with a swing. She'll trickle one over the tape. Able to get underneath it and scramble it over the net is Akron. Abby Lee, however, will terminate for the Bulls as she finds Baker's hands.
Yep, a big scramble, and when both sides are scrambling, all of a sudden you get a good pass and you can be in system. It's like everything just feels great. Abby Lee having a fantastic night tonight.
Forlin with another hard-driven ball. A bit of a collision on the Zip side, but both players seem to be okay. Looked to me like Baker took a step back. Might have stepped on Trigg.
And if you're the Bulls, you're seeing that, well, the outside actually can't get there anymore. So the adjustment should have been Mandy Lee coming inside for that help on Jones there. But she was just one-on-one with Abby Lee.
Vitskova's float serve for the ace off the thumbs of Emma Converse.
Freshman looking a little tight tonight.
We'll give the Zips 2 aces on the set. This Vitskova with another hard-driven float serve. Mandy Lee wins the joust, but Baker will get a swing. Mandy Lee pushed outside. Trebahovska spins it off the blocker's hands out of bounds for the kill.
Exactly what the Bulls needed.
That'll draw us to the media timeout. Bulls on top, 15-13. We'll step aside. You're watching MAC Volleyball on ESPN+. Knotted up at 1 set apiece after Akron took the closely contested first set. The Bulls in extra frames taking the second set. And now more of the same here. Both teams in this set. It looks to me like it's an exact split between the first set and the second set. They're not hitting as efficiently as they did that first set. They're also not passing as well as they might have in the second set. Brissett with a swing on the outside, picked up. Trebahovska has found some space, hitting it 4-4 as of late.
Brissett getting burned twice in this rotation. She's got to make an adjustment, or let me just say, Trebahovska's going to keep doing it.
Yeah, it looks to me like Del Real is the one that is supposed to answer for that shot, but that is a tough assignment.
Yeah, she's covering so much court, and especially if Vitskova has, you know, a shorter ball. My thing is, I think Brissett's got to get that. help the libero out.
Lauren Baker with the float serve. It's Mandy Lee setting slide to Taya Shaw, and she'll get the kill down the line as Del Real was there. A little too hot to handle.
Yeah, that was a nice little, nice slide. Great connection there.
Looked to me like it was redirected off the block, which does cause a little issue when you're trying to respond in short order.
Very tough.
Vitskova sets the back one, and Jones. Emma Converse the dig in the 6. It's Trebahovska from the outside, and once again, she is targeting that outside or that left hand of the middle blocker. Able to get the kill, and that's going to draw the timeout from the Akron Zips.
I'm telling you, unless you make the adjustment, Katrin Trebahovska is going to keep doing it until she stops.
Let's take a look at some action tonight. Right now, Ohio is on top of Kent State, as is Western Michigan.
As a receiver, Del Real just bounced right off of her.
And gave Mandy Lee 2 aces on the day, but she'll follow it up with a miss. Keep it to within 4. 19-15 right now. Bulls on top here, set 3. Carliana Jones, the 6'3" senior middle blocker, will step back to serve. Emma Converse the pass. Trebahovska from the right side. Vitskova gets underneath it, and Baker able to chase it down. And that's going to be a free ball for the Bulls. Middle set. Taya Shaw, and that one is long.
What amazing hustle for the Zips. You saw at least 3 or 4 girls traveling past to help out with that shanked ball, that shanked dig.
Jones again, the float serve to Emma Converse. Mandy Lee sets right side, and Trebahovska will tip down the line. Nice recognition there. She realized that Jones was playing defense in the 5.
Smart shot. Middles are unfortunately not known for their defense. And even though with their long strides, she could have probably been there in a stride and a half. But it's tough. It's tough. Middles playing defense are tough. Wow.
That's an ace serve by Trebahovska, as she will hit the top spin right where she needed to put it.
That 5-6 seam between the passer, Delaney Gash, and then you have Baker there, just right between two outside hitters. Your libero's in the right side of the court, so she's usually the one, directing traffic. But that serve comes in so hot, and it's right in that gap where, Gash is in that front row. She's like, okay, do you have it? Because I want to go hit. But you have to stay and pass first.
Take a look at Trebahovska's stats in MAC play.
It looked like it was also between, right over top of Vitskova's left hand, right where the gap would have been if Jones couldn't close it.
The fans are on their feet here. Late set 3, 24-19 is Forlin with a deep float serve. And again, it's that missed serve on set point. I don't believe in the broadcaster's curse, but sometimes when you say things, they tend to recur over and over and over.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of poor timing missed serves. As a coach and as a volleyball player, you just gotta shake your head.
This will send Vitskova back to the line. The deep float serves to Emma Converse. Mandy Lee pushed outside. Trebahovska puts it off the outside hand of Brissett to close it out in set number 3. The Bulls will take it 25-20 to go up 2-1 on the visiting Akron Zips. We'll step aside here during the intermission. The Bulls on top.
It's so nice to have, and you hope that it rubs off on you too, like the fans and all of your little quirks that you have here. So it's been what a game so far.
Yeah, it's been an impressive match thus far. The Bulls able to claw back in set number 2 in extra frames. They knotted up at 1 set apiece, and then they were on. That one's covered by Vitskova, and Abby Lee on the overpass will get the kill as she cut it wrist away.
What a rally. Everybody's just defending so well. And we've got, you know, off the block, we've got off somebody else's hands. Just really great team efforts by both squads right now.
It'll put Buffalo up. It's Kennard off one foot, trying to cut it cross court 2-2, unable to do so.
I had to say something. That's Kennard's first error on the night. Looks like it just it was a misconnection inside of her hand, cross her body. Didn't look like it was what we've seen all night between Vitskova and Kennard.
Don't beat yourself up over it again. I don't believe in the broadcaster's curse. Sideline and put Buffalo back up 1-5-4.
It was a smart strategy by the Zips to try to go after Trabahaska. She was on that line, but just a little wide on the serve.
The float serve. That was a nice placement by Abby Lee.
Yes, it was. Talking about strategic balls placed on your serve. You got Baker, who's on the front row right now, making her pass that short.
Well, Jones doesn't care about whether or not Baker's there as she runs through the middle for the kill.
That's kind of like, you know, you're playing chess and it's, okay, if I move here, people can do this, this, and this. That's your serve. Your serve is your move in a chess match. You want to take something out, or you want to maybe hinder an outside to free up your blockers.
Wow. With an absolute missile cross court, we'll get the kill as Del Real was unable to handle the heat.
That's what you want in a hitter, you know, after you get next. Well, she responded pretty well, I would say.
Puts Buffalo up 2-7-5. Mandy Lee with the float to Trigg. Set outside, Brissett rolls one deep. And that's a kill from Brissett. Not the best first contact from Feudy.
Yeah, you don't see that much from Feudy. I think she's a very good ball-controlled player. But sometimes it happens.
Lauren Baker, the float serve. Set outside, Trebahovska tips it off the outside hand of the blocker for the kill.
So smart. Even when, you know, Collins was up, Collins actually went for a quick ball, even though she's playing on the opposite right now. You know, when you have a couple middles in your front row, you can change up what you're setting.
Brissett able to get underneath the serve from Trebahovska, and that one's ripped by Gash deep.
That was actually a decent first ball from Brissett. Because that was a tough ball. A serve like that, hitting the tape, I mean, it could roll, change a spin. That's tough to control.
That one makes contact with the tape. Baker the pass, set right side. Brissett will roll one deep, and Trebahovska will handle. Reese Collins from the right side, dug by Del Real, the overpass. Forlin spins it into the block. Trebahovska the cover. She'll get another opportunity, and she'll send it deep to Baker. Another overpass. Forlin another swing. Vitskova pushes outside in the tempo set to Gash, and Gash will terminate.
What a swing, and what great defense from the Zips. And you see Feudy's really sucked into the court. That's a tough ball to dig. It kind of got her up a little high. Had some serious power from Gash.
Jones with the float serve into the net, and that's a tough one to swallow for Akron as that puts Buffalo back up 3, 10-7. Be Maria Feudy back to serve for the Bulls. The float. Gash with the pass, the set right side. Brissett spins it off the hands. Trebahovska the answer in the 6. It's Forlin, puts it off the tape out of bounds. And that's a point for the Zips.
And that's a really tough ball to swing. You know, you can't see through the net. If you're trying to go around a block, you're just kind of hoping for not hitting their hands. Tough ball to hit coming over your shoulders like that.
Chaussee with the float serve to Trebahovska. Forlan from the outside into the block, and that is sent right back to the sender. She'll touch it on the way out of bounds.
And here's the thing, that matchup is what the Bulls want. Forlan's kind of bringing her arm down a little bit because that's Vitskova on the right side for the Zips.
Tough for Forlan at 6'2" to get out of the way of that one. She'll tip cross court to Del Rio. Gash tips short. Forlan gets underneath it, and Abby Lee will tip over. Vitskova handled the first. She'll be an attacker. Spins it off the hands. Touched on the block by Kennard. She'll get the attack. Dug by Mandy Lee. Baker with a nice range from the 6. Punched over by Vitskova. Middle set to Abby Lee. Baker another dig. It's Gash. Cuts one off the blocker's hand. Mandy Lee handled the first. It's Forlan, a spin through the hands of the blockers for the kill. Nice point by both teams.
And Baker is everywhere in the back row. Wow. What great reading on the defense there. Forlan finally putting it away. What a rally.
Terzinski returns to serve. Pulls back up to 11-9. Vitskova sets Kennard off 1 foot. Trebahovska gets behind it. Vitskova again, this time pushes outside to Gash, and she's able to cut it cross court. Looked like it split the block.
Yeah, again, I mean, that front row right there, you had Gash and you had Kennard, and both players having really good nights. If you're Abby Lee in the middle, you're like, you know this ball is going to go fast to either pin. You got to choose one, and she was pretty late.
Twiggs float serve to Terzinski. It's Forlan taking some off. Baker gets underneath it. Del Rio will send it to Baker, who sets to the 4, but that is going to sail a bit wide off the sideline.
Interesting choice by Baker. I understand where she was going, but you know, I take a little off of it.
Bulls back on top by 2, 12-10. Forlan the serve. It's a missed serve for Forlan. Zips back within 1.
Gotta capitalize on those momentum swings.
Emma Converse will return to handle some of the serve receive here for the Bulls. Del Rio with the float serve. Emma Converse ducks it just in time.
Oh, the amount of times I've seen a teammate get hit in the shoulder, hit in the ear, just, you know, you move the wrong way to avoid the serve and you get hit.
Baker gets the kill on the outside. She cut it the extreme angle, and it didn't look like Shaw got through the net on that one.
No, it didn't look like she was pressing over at all. Just kind of, the ball handled her instead of her blocking and pressing over and handling the ball.
Vitskova with the float serve to Terzinski. It's an overpass, and Baker will push it through to get the kill.
And just like that, it's just like little errors, like a missed serve or a missed dig or an overpass that Bulls are letting the Zips back in, and we got a tie ball game.
Again, Vitskova with the serve. And that dropped off a table in front of Emma Converse.
Yes, it did.
That'll send Emma Converse to the back line. It'll be Terzinski, Feudy, and Trebahovska handling the serve receive. Vitskova with the serve to Trebahovska. Mandy Lee outside set to Trebahovska. Vitskova the dig down the line. Baker from the outside, high off the hands. Emma Converse handles in the 6. Mandy Lee will call her own number, and that's why she's a weapon in the front.
Smart choice. She hasn't dumped in a while. Kind of, you know, get her squad back to square one. Now let's see if she can calm it down and see how she serves here.
Mandy Lee, deep float serve is going to sail long. And that's going to put Akron on top by 1, 15-14 as we head to the media timeout. step aside during the break. You're watching Bulls Volleyball on ESPN+.
Amount, or it's off by 1 or 2 either way. This contest has been extremely balanced.
Baker with a float serve that handcuffed Converse deep. Feudy had to handle the second, but Trebahovska will handle the third.
I'm telling you, Trebahovska out of system. My money's on her.
Yeah, with a drive. Baker has been getting a lot of good contacts in the 6, but unable to do so there. As you see, Trebahovska now with 20 kills on the day, hitting above 400 as an outside is an impressive feat. It's tipped short by Brissett. She'll get the kill.
Smart shot. Everybody's really dug deep. We've seen the Zips tip some in the middle, but that was just right over the block and just out of Feudy's reach.
Jones with the float serve to Feudy. It's Mandy Lee pushing outside. Forlan right into the hands of Brissett.
That was a solid block set up by Brissett and Kennard. Not a lot of coverage happening on the Bulls side.
They'll give Brissett her 3rd block on the day. Mandy Lee goes middle to Shaw, who spins it off the hands of Gash. She'll get the kill through the middle.
You know, Shaw is one of those people that, you know, Mandy Lee hasn't really depended on a lot this game. But when she has gone to her, it's been either an out-of-system ball for the Zips or it's been a kill. She's really doing her job tonight.
Vitskova sets outside and Gash. Down the line, Trebahovska with the easy pickup. Del Real with the run through, ripped by Gash, cross court, sent over on the free after the scramble play. Gash mishit that one as she tried to swing cross court. She'll put it out of bounds off the far sideline.
I love seeing the grittiness and the resilience of the defenses tonight. We've had such amazing digs and scrappy plays that, you know, these girls are keeping the balls alive.
Knotted up at 17 apiece. The float serve from Feudy. Reese with the overpass swing. It's picked up. And that is rejected by Forlan off the swing from Brissett.
Forlan's like, oh, Brissett, you can do that to me? Well, how about I do that to you? Again, back and forth.
And the Bulls now on top, 18-17. That'll draw a timeout called by Akron.
Of November. It's a long season for these girls.
Float serve to Baker, coming out of the timeout. Kennard through the middle. Mandy Lee with a scoop. Forlan cuts it 4-4. And again, the Bulls are picking up on that opening in this defensive style by the Akron Zips.
Very smart play by Forlan. She didn't have a great approach. She didn't get all the way back in time, so that was just a smart, I'm gonna place it over the net where they're not, get them out of system or have a kill.
Feudy with the float serve. That's Kennard through the middle.
Great
and
dick.
Yeah, Trebahovska able to answer. It's Baker handling the second off the dig by Vitskova. Gash cross court swing. She'll get the kill.
Wow. Both sides. We've got so many digs tonight. What exceptional defenses we've seen. Chaussee
will step back to serve. Akron back within 19-18. That float serve.
Oh my gosh.
It kind of like drifted up and then just dropped. I don't know how you do that.
Maybe a little draft? No, that's sucker. That's like.
Yeah, there has to be a fan somewhere. That
I know, right?
That was a bit ridiculous. As it turned over, and that will knot it up at 19 apiece. Draw a timeout by the Bulls as Coach Smith needs to make sure that the servicing for his team is on the same page.
You know, we've been here before. I feel like it's been 19-19 every game, or every tough serves. Tough, flat, right over the net. Keep them guessing. If I'm the Bulls, get the ball just 10 feet let Mandy Lee do her thing and setting the ball where she needs to set it.
Yeah, I think, that is certainly more beneficial than letting that ball drop in front of you. I don't think this timeout is because they can't pass that ball, but that ball was, if as close as it gets to an unserved receivable ball, that ball
Very
dropped.
true.
But what it does is this will force the Zips to kind of refocus. They're going to want to get this serve in, which is probably the last direction that was given to Chaussee on the way out of the huddle. And that's what the Bulls need right now. They just need to collect themselves and get one pass. Like you said, put it to 8 to 10 feet off the net, give Mandy Lee a chance. Forlin with a drive cross court right on cue. That pass was about 7 or 8 feet off the net.
Beautiful pass, and it was still something that she could have set Abby Lee. Menard you see her kind of jump, and then she was super late getting to Forlin. Abby Lee doing her job as a middle and keeping the other middle blocker in check.
Okay, Terzinski will sub in and serve it into the net, and that will knot it up again. 20-20. As Twig will return to serve for the Zips. That was a tough one.
You know, as a defensive specialist, you only have a couple opportunities to get in the game. You really want to make the most out of it.
Twig's float serve to Terzinski. She does respond with a nice pass. That's swung on by Abby Lee on the slide and sent over on the free. The Bulls will reset. Mandy Lee pushes outside to Forlin, and that is blocked. Right when you needed your player to watch to step up, she does.
Solo block. Vitskova. Forlin's had multiple hits over top of her hands, but not that one.
Vitskova has had 4 blocks on the day, rather. As that one will pinball around on the Bulls side, and now the Zips up 2 here late, set number 4.
Set was a little tight, and great block setup. Baker really was just right there.
That's going to draw another timeout here by the Bulls, 22-20. Again, reminiscent of the first 2 sets in this one. They have been neck and neck.
Yeah, it's when you get 2 balanced teams like this, it calls for a really fun night of volleyball. We've seen fantastic defense, both blocking and digs. Girls are running everywhere, scrambling for balls, and being super scrappy. And as a volleyball fan, that's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah, certainly. You do like to see the big-time swings. I like to see the big-time answers.
Right.
Winning heavily upon Lauren Baker on the outside. Although they have been getting a significant contribution from their freshman Gash on the outside. She's been showing up.
Yeah, these are two squads that are very outside hitter heavy. Which is a fun little hitter versus hitter type of drill.
Twig, the float serve again, Akron up 2. Set slide, Abby Lee. Cross-court swing for the kill.
So the last ball that Mandy set Abby was all the way to the pin, and it was tight, and it was just a little tough of a ball. This one was almost in the middle, like a gap kind of thing right behind her. Not right behind this, drifted a little more. That was a great choice.
Emma Converse with the float serve. The set to Kennard. She'll tip over, and that's going to knot it up as it finds the outside of the far sideline out of bounds.
Vitskova really trying to continue with that tempo, both forward and behind her as a setter. Just got away from her a little bit.
Converse, the float serve to Baker. Twig had to handle the second. It's Baker. Spins it off the hands for the kill. Baker's been getting it done all day.
She really has. She's definitely been their go-to. That ball's, 50 feet in the air.
Be Del Real. The float serve to Feudy. The slide ball again. This time Chaussee gets underneath it. Baker with a drive cross court, and she'll get the kill out of the reach of Feudy. That's going to draw this one to a set point for Akron. That's some place that they've been quite frequently in this match. Del Rio will miss a float serve. Again, I don't believe in the broadcaster's curse, but I believe that's 3 now that they've missed on
game points.
Game point, if not 4.
Let me just say, tomorrow there's going to be a lot of serving and passing done on both of these teams. Oh man, you hate to see a missed serve on game point.
And that missed serve is going to draw a timeout from the Zips, as they want to make sure that everybody's on the same page now that this has narrowed to a 1-point margin. Akron trying to close things out and force a 5th set. The Bulls, on the other hand, are going to try to overtake and hopefully close out the match. And Akron on top, though. Take a look at the other action tonight. And then I have to imagine that probably going out to Baker, although I would like to see a changeup of sorts, as I believe you're going to have Jones in the front row. And Jones coming into today was hitting .420. I believe that mark may actually lead the MAC in terms of hitting efficiency, if I'm not mistaken.
We have a front row setter. I think it's going to go to Baker.
Well, you're right, and that will close it out here in set 4. The set goes outside to Baker. And the Zips will take set number 25-23 and send this one to a decisive 5th set. We'll step aside during the break. You're watching UB Bulls Volleyball on ESPN. 20 kills and 19 kills apiece. Trebahovska is hitting .405 as an outside hitter. That is an impressive mark right now.
405 as an outside, and they're starting her in the back row.
I have to imagine they're trying to get a blocking matchup that is favorable.
Yeah. You got Forlin on Vitskova again.
Chaussee with the float serve to Forlin. Mandy Lee will set middle, and Shaw, that is rejected. Picked up and sent over on the free. Vitskova pushed outside. Shaw high off the hands. And we'll have a net violation called, as I believe Forlin got it.
Yeah, that was, I'm not gonna lie, the Bulls look a little fatigued. If they're gonna win this match, they gotta look a little more alive here.
Chaussee with the float serve to Trebahovska, and she'll have an ace to put Akron up 2-0.
Chaussee having this serve, I mean, she's starting on the left side of the serving line, going all the way across the court to Forlin.
Forces the overpass, and the answer, that's Kennard through the middle.
This looks like the first set again.
And that is going to draw an early substitution, as we'll see Luli Arcucci replace Reese Collins. And Kill gave Kennard her 10th on the day. Mandy Lee will push it outside to Forlin, tipped short. Chaussee got underneath it. I think she might have stolen it out of the breadbasket of Baker.
Yeah, Baker looked like she was just right there. But again, we've had a lot of great scrappy defensive plays, so maybe a little miscommunication there with Chaussee and Baker.
Feudy, the deep float serve to Baker. Outside swing, that is Gash for the kill.
Man, that set comes so hot off of Vitskova's fingers. I mean, she was at 8 feet, and that was still a super fast ball to the pin.
Extends the Akron lead back to 3, 4-1. It's Twig. The float serve to Forlin. Mandy Lee goes middle. Abby Lee cut it back to Chaussee in the 1. She'll get the kill.
You know what? We've seen Abby Lee hit wrist away all night. I think that was our first cutback to the right side of the court. And it really, Chaussee was not ready for it.
Trzynski will return, and she'll have an ace as that one dropped.
Wow. I mean, again, you want your serves right above the tape. But not only does this go right above the tape, but once it gets past the tape, it drops.
Trzynski, another float serve. That's Del Real, who had problems handling it. Rolled high off the hands by Baker. Forlin will spin one. It's picked up by Del Real. Baker, cross-court swing, and Feudy the answer. Forlin from the outside. Cross-court swing, Baker underneath it. That is Vitskova going on two. Trebahovska gets underneath it, and that is tipped to the floor by Abby Lee.
Now you feel the momentum shifting a little bit. We got a tied ball game. Couple mistakes early by Buffalo. Now they're almost like making up for it a little bit.
That gives Abby Lee 11 kills on the day as Trzynski will float it to Del Real, who once again had problems with the serve. Mandy Lee pushed outside. Forlin tipped short. Shaw saved the answer. Baker, a drive cross court, put Akron back on top.
I mean, if you blink, you are missing the set. That is how fast these balls are going to the pin. And it didn't actually go all the way to the pin. Didn't go all the way to the antenna. These balls are like 4 feet inside.
Kennard with the float serve to Trebahovska. Mandy Lee will set outside to Forlin, spins it deep, and that one is long. That's gonna draw a challenge from Coach Scott Smith as Forlin immediately called for a touch on that swing.
You know, from our angle up here, it didn't look like it was anywhere close, but you never know. Maybe, you know, we could also just use a little bit of a break to make the Zips think about their serve, because they've been kind of picking apart this, the Bulls receiving.
Tough to judge there. Again, kind of blurs at the net, certainly didn't touch it.
Yeah, it really doesn't look like it to me.
Usually it's the players' reactions, at least from our era of play. I think when you see a player react a certain way, you trust that the reaction tells the truth.
It's actually a lot close to the blocking, the tips of the fingers.
Still taking a look at it. Right now, Akron on top 6-4 on the scoreboard. But this one would once again knot it up at 5 apiece. Built some momentum for the Bulls, who certainly could use some, as Akron finished out that fourth set in what has again been just this back and forth contest. It's really been who has the momentum at a key moment in time. And this, of all times, is a pretty key moment.
Yeah, it is. Every point.
Both Forlin and Trebahovska right now with 20 kills apiece. And Trebahovska hitting over 400 as an outside, but right now it's Forlin that's in the front.
20 kills apiece, it's pretty remarkable. And then you have Baker on the other side also with 20 kills.
And not to be lost is Gash as well with 14, which is a pretty good mark.
Outsides are having themselves a game tonight.
Still taking a look at this one. Again, the replays in terms of their difficulty, a touch on the block is certainly one of the more difficult ones to tell, because you're looking in super slow motion to determine whether or not even the
finger moved.
Smallest finger makes any sort of motion. The ball is moving at a speed that you really don't see any misdirection. The misdirection is what you judge live. You're able to tell whether or not it touched the block based on the misdirection, but the micro touches that you get on a block, you know, could be very minimal. And so, again, at a crucial moment in time, it does not shock me that we're taking a good hard look at this one.
Wow.
That one was touched on the block. And so that will knot it up at 5 apiece. It'll be Forlin stepping back to serve after what is now her 21st kill. Float serve is to Baker. It's an overpass. Mandy Lee will send one over. Vitskova with a drive. Trebahovska from the outside, and that one is touched on the block for the kill.
Addis, I would love to see the numbers where Trebahovska gets it from Mandy Lee in system, and then Trebahovska getting it from anyone else out of system.
The float serves to Baker by Forlin. It's Baker on the outside, spins it off hands. That is pancaked up. Trebahovska will send it deep. Twig the answer in the 6. Baker, cross-court drive, and that one is wide off the near sideline, and all of a sudden, Buffalo with the momentum, 7-5.
Baker trying to paint that line. Tough ball.
Forlin retains the serve as she floats to Twig. The set and slide on Jones, and she'll go off 1 foot and beat Forlin in a 6.
The Bulls have had a hard time defending the slide, or anything really, between Kennard's kills and really anything off of 1 foot behind the setter. Bulls have had a really hard time blocking and defending.
That float serve from Vitskova is an ace, and that will knot it up at 7 apiece. Vitskova now on the day with 5 aces, if I'm not mistaken. Floats to Feudy. Set outside, and Trebahovska pulls the string cross court for the kill as Buffalo will go up 8-7 as we head into the media timeout. Bulls on top. We'll step aside. You're watching Bulls Volleyball on ESPN+.
Are fighting for their lives here.
It'll be Abby Lee stepping back to serve for the Bulls, as she'll have herself an ace coming out of the break.
Oh my gosh, I did not think that was going over the net. Another dropper. Maybe there is some type of air circulation thing going on. These serves have been just dropping.
She's dropped 2 of those balls right on the sideline there. As Jones comes through the middle, that's won by Mandy Lee, and Brissett will tip one deep. Trebahovska into the block. Baker gets her forearms on it. She'll get a swing from the right side. Spins it off the block and the tape. Pushed all the way outside, and Brissett will send over the free. Mandy Lee, the tip. Sent over on 3 with the double contact. Point Bulls.
It's getting scrappier.
Bulls up 10-7 now, as the momentum favors them right now in a crucial set 5 match.
Just trying not to panic, both teams. When it starts getting scrappy, people start kind of, getting anxious and stuff like that, but just relaxing and playing their game.
Yeah, the Bulls, I mean, the efficiency has been hot and cold today.
An easy, simple ball in the middle of the court, so she can take care of the rest.
Abby Lee's float serve to Twig, the set right side. Baker down the line. She'll get the kill just inside the end line.
Man, what a set by Vitskova. She put her whole body into this, really throwing it back. Single block, great choice, great ball by Baker.
After the kill with Baker, the serve to Converse. Mandy Lee sets Shaw on the slide, touched on the block. The joust is won by Mandy Lee as she sends Jones to the floor.
And honestly, Trzynski with the coverage ball, that's what makes a difference. Those little plays, the scrappy plays, not letting the ball hit the floor. That's what your job is as a defensive specialist.
Mandy Lee with a deep float serve will sail long, and Akron will catch a breather. They desperately needed something to go their way, and that was it, 11-9. Carliana Jones with the float serve to Trebahovska. Mandy Lee sets outside. Trebahovska, the tip to Vitskova, and she'll get herself a kill.
You know what? Vitskova's had that tip all night. I don't know if it was just a little out of reach or what. It looks like, yeah, she's just not as comfortable with her left hand. Well, she's left-handed. I'm not really sure what happened there. That was, again, that's a ball she's had in her lap all night.
That'll draw a timeout from the Akron Zips. 12-9 here late. The Bulls on top. They have all the momentum going their direction. And Coach Tyson Norton trying to scheme up something to give life to the Zips.
You know, I'm pretty sure both setters are probably setting their outsides. Do you just send two to the outside no matter what? You know, you got to serve it in, but is that, I'm thinking strategy here. If you're trying to decide on, you know, the chess match, you're going to serve here so you can put two blockers here. The stats say both teams are pretty outside hitter heavy. I think I might put two blockers on the outside.
Yeah, you know, I think you have to err on the side of caution. The Akron side of the net, though, I mean, the middle blockers have been efficient in terms of their swings, and so I think you cheat that direction towards the outside. I don't think you can give up entirely on that middle blocker, but I do think the ball's going outside here as Gash is out there. It'll be Brissett on the right side. She tips one over. Mandy Lee had to handle the first. That one's tight for Forlin, and that is blocked to the floor as Brissett will get all of it.
Tough ball by Feudy. She knows it right when she did it. Her face kind of dropped knowing that it was a trap ball.
Be Chaussee to serve for Akron. They trailed late by 2. Another tough serve, and Mandy Lee won't get underneath it. And now Akron is back within 1 just that quick.
Oh, it is not over.
That's going to draw a timeout from the Bulls as Akron has pulled to within 1 here. I don't even know what to say.
I don't either. It's again, what two really balanced squads we're looking at right now. And outside hitters are having a night for themselves.
Yeah, you know what, I think a lot of that had to do, well, first and foremost, I think when it comes to teams like the Bulls and the Akron Zips, they have solid outside hitters that they know that they can feed the ball to at a moment's notice. But I think it's been forced that way by the way that both these teams have really passed. They haven't been passing very well. They haven't been making their middles an option. I keep bringing up the hitting efficiency for Akron through the middle, but it's tough to feed them when you don't have that ball right there. Baker's getting high balls, or like quicker balls on the outside by design. The Zips offense runs that quicker ball, and it's caused some problems for the Bulls block. But I think the Bulls right now just need one pass, one their system. They'll have Taya Shaw in the front row, Luli Arcucci on the right side, but I have to imagine this ball's going outside to Forlin.
Yeah, that's where my money is too.
Although you can't lose sight ever of the fact that Trebahovska's an option in the back row.
In the back row, that's true.
Mandy Lee will go middle.
Wow.
And call us both liars as Taya Shaw gets it done.
Again, Shaw hasn't been set much, but when she has, it has caused the Zips trouble. And she's gotten some kills for her team. It's really all you can ask.
13-11. Maria Feudy. The float is into the net. And that wasn't set point, but that it was as close as it comes to set point.
Again, just crushes your momentum. It's something that only you can control. That's mental. That's a mental thing right there. Late into the 5th, you got to make your serve.
Sophie Twigg subs in and serves. Tough one. Forlin with a tough swing. And that's going to get the Bulls match point, 14-12.
And let's see if that goes right over. Oh, right. Vitskova went a little too far to the pin. which really opened up a big hole. Forlan really capitalized on that one.
Match point for the Bulls. Kate Terzinski subs in to serve for the match. A deep float serve to Baker. Vitskova sets outside. Baker took some off it and breathed some life into Akron.
I don't think we've seen Baker really roll shot or tip much tonight. She has been heavy arm swings all night. But what a changeup.
Trebahov's gonna pass. Mandy Lee outside. Forlan will spin it off the blocker's hands, out of bounds to close out the fifth set victory, 15-13, as the Bulls will take the match at home from the Akron Zips. The final score, 3-2. The other side will have interviews for the postgame.